Hello, this is Muhammad Usman, and today we are going to discuss how to create tables and graphs for qualitative as well as for quantitative data. So let's get started now. Well, starting from a simple example of data of 10 students about the sex. This is simple, male or female. We have asked a simple question to the students that whether you are male or female and classify them into two categories. This is qualitative data for you. And we'll see today what are the suitable tables and what are the suitable graph for this kind of data. Well, this is the frequency distribution of the data. You need to put the possible categories in the first column, and then you have to count that how many are the males and how many are females. You can use simple counting method, or you can also apply tally bar. Well, relative frequency, it is obtained by dividing the corresponding class frequency with the total frequency. And if you multiply the relative frequency with 100, you'll get percent frequency. Remember, the total of the relative frequency will always be equal to 1, and the total of percent frequency will always be equal to 100. Slight difference may be due to the rounding error for the big questions. And the suitable graph for the same data is the bar chart, where you put the categories on x-axis and frequency on y-axis. The length of the bar, rectangle bar, shows you the frequency of that class. And remember, students, one thing that the graph should be independent from the table, so you have to put the title of the graph, the title of the x-axis, the title of the y-axis appropriately. So now moving to the second example of the qualitative data, where you have also collected the sections of those 10 students along with their sex. Now you have two variables, both the variables they are qualitative. We will move from simple frequency to the cross tabulation. That is, the categories of the one variable will be in the columns and the categories of the second variable will be in the rows. For example, in this table, 3 shows that there are 3 students in section A who are male and 4 students in section B who are male, and there are total 10 students, out of which 7 are male and 3 are female. So this table provides you more information as compared to the previous table. It gives you the individual frequencies as well as the cross tabulations. So what is the ultimate graph for this kind of data? Well, remember, if there are two variables in both qualitative, the suitable graph is multiple bar chart, where you put the categories on x-axis, male and female, and the frequencies on y-axis, and the second variable is showed in the different color bar, like blue for section A and orange for section B. You can also put the sections on x-axis, and male and females can be shown with the different bars. This is on your choice, that's how you want to present your data. Both are the correct method. Now we'll move to the quantitative data. And in quantitative, this is a simple example of discrete data. Number of infected plants from sample of 20 experimental plants. You will have to put the number of infected plants, the possible values for number of infected plants into the first column. They are 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 in this case. Now you have to count that out of 20, how many they fall in 0 and how many they fall into 1 and how many they fall into 2, 3 and 4, so on. So you will do the tally method for that. One vertical line for one observation, and when you complete the 4 vertical lines, the fifth line will cross the first 4 to make a bundle of 5, and this is just a counting method which will facilitate you to count the values correctly. And from this tally mark you can write the frequency, and the sum of the frequency will always be equal to your sample size. You have selected 20 experimental areas, so the sum of frequency will be 20. Relative frequencies and percent frequencies, they can be obtained similar to the qualitative data problems. Well, the suitable graph is bar chart. Number of infected plants, they are on x-axis, whereas the frequency it is on the y-axis. The greater the bar length, that shows the more the frequency for that class, that value. The pie chart. Well, first of all, I will show you the pie chart and then I will discuss how to construct it. Well, this is the data of 70 students, their blood groups. Like in the table, you can say that the students having a blood group of A, there are 8 students, 30 students have a blood group of B, 20 have a blood group of O, 12 have a blood group of AB. So a pie chart is simply a division of a circle into different sectors, into different portions. And well, it is used when you want to show the components of a total. So here you have total 70 students and you need to show that how many students they have a blood group of A and how many they have a blood group of B and so on. So how will we proceed it? Simply we will take the relative frequency and then we will multiply that relative frequency with 360 because the angle of the circle is 360. In this way you will get the angle for certain classes. Like in this example for blood group A, the angle of the circle is 40 and that angle will decide the portion that will go to the sector 1. And similarly for B is 154.8 and for O positive or negative or O blood group it is 1.4, 104.4 and so on. Well, after this you just have to divide the circle uh, by using these angles computed in the last column. At the last, you can also make this graph on a bar chart that will show you the maximum student. They have a B blood group and the 30 and the second best is 20 and the least student have A group, they are only 8. And similarly, you can also show the population data on bar chart. And if you have the population of male and female, you can show it on multiple bar chart. And similarly, you can also make component bar chart when you want to show components of total for certain categories. Like in this graph, for Lahore, you can also see the total population of Lahore as well as population of male and female in that class. Well, component bar chart, they allows you to compare the total as well as the different components inside that total. There may be more than 2 components. Thank you very much.